You didn't arrive here by accident. This moment right now has been marked by heaven, quietly, intentionally. Long before the evidence showed up, your spirit began to sense it. You couldn't explain it, but something inside you shifted. A restlessness, a holy anticipation, a knowing that the season was changing even if nothing around you had caught up yet. That's how God moves with the chosen ones. Not with fanfare, not with flashing lights, but with whispers. Divine instruction doesn't always come loud, it comes alive. And before your eyes ever see it, your soul starts preparing for it. It starts with stillness, a kind of spiritual hush that silences the need to prove, to post, to be seen. Because when heaven begins to move, it doesn't announce itself with noise. It stirs in secret, like a seed beneath the soil, pressing through layers of resistance, breaking old patterns underground, unseen, but unstoppable. That's where you are right now. God is doing something in your foundation. You may not see the fruit yet, but something is taking root. You're being positioned. And positioning doesn't begin in public. It begins in private. You've entered a sacred shift. This is not the season to shout. It's the season to listen. It's not time to explain. It's time to align. Heaven is not looking for your announcement. It's looking for your agreement. Because what's coming is not small. This isn't a minor change. This is an elevation that requires new posture, deeper roots, and tighter focus. And before God puts more in your hands, He's making sure your heart is ready to carry it. Don't be fooled by the quietness of this moment. Just because it's silent doesn't mean it's still. Just because it feels slow doesn't mean it's stuck. Breakthrough doesn't always come with volume. Sometimes it comes with vision, a glimpse, a moment of clarity that shifts how you walk, how you speak, how you think. This is one of those moments. He's testing your hearing before He tests your handling. He wants to know, can you recognize the beginning of blessing when it doesn't look like blessing yet? Can you hold steady in the whisper before the doors fly open? You've been praying for the door to open. But now heaven is asking you to be still. Not to pause your progress, but to protect it. Because the first stage of abundance isn't outward, it's inward. It's the silence before the sunrise. The unseen stretch before the shift becomes visible. And in that silence, God is speaking with precision. Listen closely. He's telling you how to move, where to give, what to release, who to stop calling back. He's clearing space for what He's about to place in your life. So don't resist the quiet. Embrace it. Because the deeper the silence, the stronger the signal. You don't need a sign when you have instruction. And God is giving you that instruction now, not in thunder, but in whisper. This is the part most people rush through. They want the fruit, but not the formation. They want visibility before stability, but not you. You're being shaped to last, not just to rise. So pay attention to the details right now. The small nudges, the closing of old doors, the fading of certain conversations. It's all divine. It's all on purpose. There's nothing random about this season. Even your limitations are sacred. Even your delays are surgical. God is preserving your energy, refining your motives, and tuning your ear for what's next. You haven't missed your moment. You're standing in it. The reason you're feeling the pull to simplify, to quiet down, to get back into alignment, it's not regression, it's preparation. Because what's coming will require all of you. Not your public self, not your filtered self, but your anchored self. This is the ground God is using to build your legacy. And it's not hard ground anymore. Something's shifted. The soil is softer. The resistance has started to break. The heaviness is beginning to lift. That low door you've been pressing against for years, God is unlocking it quietly. And He's not asking you to kick it open. He's asking you to walk through it wisely. No announcement, no explanation, just obedience. Because chosen ones don't need to prove anything. Their presence speaks for them, their posture opens doors, and their silence becomes strategy. So breathe. Let God do it His way. Let the Spirit lead you, not your emotions, not your audience, not your urgency. Stay hidden just a little longer. Stay quiet just a little deeper. Because this is not the time to make noise. This is the time to make room. And when the time comes to move, you'll know. Not because the world tells you, but because heaven releases you. And when that release comes, everything that's been growing underground will rise with strength. And you, steady, prepared, grounded, will be ready to carry it. Let this truth settle in your spirit. You didn't just survive the weight. You were strengthened by it. And that strength, it's the foundation for what comes next. Now that you've sensed the shift, now that the silence has softened the ground, heaven begins to weigh something deeper. Can you carry what you've prayed for? Because blessing isn't light. It comes with weight. Not just in your hands, but on your life. And God doesn't give increase to impress you. He gives it to entrust you. This is where the real test begins, not of your desire, but of your discipline. It's easy to pray for overflow. It's another thing to have the internal structure to hold it when it comes. To carry wealth without being carried away by it. To touch success without letting it touch your spirit. And that's what this part of the journey is about. The blessing may arrive quietly, but how you handle it speaks loud. The spotlight may be off, but heaven is watching. Watching how you move when no one's clapping. Watching how you treat people who can't give anything back. Watching what you do with the resources you said you'd use for good. Because the moment increase begins, heaven isn't testing your image, it's testing your integrity. This isn't just about money. It's about muscle. The kind you build in the unseen. The kind that refuses to be loud, just because life is finally getting better. God wants to know, can you carry favor without becoming addicted to attention? That's why He moves slowly. Not because He's reluctant, but because He's precise. He's not just blessing you, He's trusting you. And trust is heavier than favor. Wealth is not a crown, it's a mantle. And mantles come with mission. So now the question isn't just, will God bless me? The question is, can I remain anchored when He does? Because this blessing is not for performance. It's for purpose. This favor isn't for status. It's for stewardship. Think about this. A fire that grows too fast burns everything around it. But a fire tended with care becomes light, heat, energy, direction. And right now, God is tending your fire. This is the season to decide how you'll carry increase. Not after it comes now. Decide before the account grows. Decide before the offer is made. Decide before the visibility rises. Decide that your peace won't be for sale. Your convictions won't shift with your income. Your worship won't weaken when your schedule fills. Because money doesn't just magnify it, it multiplies. And whatever's growing in your heart now will expand once provision shows up. Pride, it will puff. Gratitude, it will flow. Greed, it will take over. Obedience, it will build legacy. So now is the moment to set your posture. Not for poverty, but for purity. Not for fear, but for faithfulness. You don't need to be flashy. You need to be faithful. That's what separates stewards from performers. Performers use blessing to be seen. Stewards use it to serve. And right now, the kingdom doesn't need more performers. It needs guardians of glory. People who don't chase approval. People who don't trade their peace for applause. People who walk into rooms full of wealth and still bow low. Because real strength doesn't scream. It moves with clarity. And true wealth doesn't make you louder. It makes you more precise. That's the posture of the chosen. They don't need to prove anything. They don't post every move. They don't explain every blessing. They build, quietly, consistently, with eyes locked on the one who gave the increase in the first place. This is the difference. It's not that they got more. It's that they learned how to handle more without losing themselves. They still wake up in worship. They still say no to what doesn't align. They still fast when no one's watching. They still give even when no one says thank you. They understand the difference between increase and elevation. Increase is what you receive. Elevation is how you carry it. And heaven is more concerned with your elevation than your bank balance. Because God doesn't bless according to potential. He blesses according to readiness. And if you've been feeling delay, it's not punishment, it's protection. He's not withholding. He's watching. He's watching how you treat what's already in your hands. He's watching how you speak about what hasn't come yet. He's watching how you manage small things before he gives you weightier things. Because money doesn't change you, it reveals you. And heaven needs to make sure that what's hiding in you won't sabotage what's coming for you. So build the habits now, not when you're seen, but while you're still in the shadows. Pray now. Give now. Set boundaries now. Because what's coming will demand all of you disciplined, focused, aligned. This isn't just income, it's influence. It's not just success. It's a sacred assignment. And those who are trusted with it don't walk carelessly. They move like warriors, silent, steady, alert. They know the weight they carry isn't for show. It's for strategy, for transformation, for legacy. So before you touch another dollar, whisper this to God: teach me how to carry what you've given without letting it carry me away from you. Because in the end, the greatest threat to your future is not lack. It's mismanagement. And the ones who last, the ones who multiply, are not the loudest in the room. They're the most rooted. They remember the silence. They remember the soil. And they let that memory shape every move they make. This is the discipline of increase. This is how you become a steward. And now that you've learned how to hold what's been placed in your hands, the next test is knowing how to protect it. You've carried it well. You didn't rush to be seen. You didn't waste your strength on performance. You've stood steady while others sprinted toward spotlight. And now, with increase beginning to unfold in your life, heaven shifts the focus again. It's time to guard what's growing. Because blessing, especially in its early stages, is fragile. Not weak fragile. Like a newborn. Like a flame. Like a sprout breaking through the surface for the first time. It's full of potential, full of power, but vulnerable. Not everyone will understand what you carry. Not everyone should have access to it. And not every opportunity is from God. This is the moment where discernment becomes your shield. You're no longer asking just, what's good? You're asking, what's God? Because some things will look aligned, but they'll pull you out of position. Some people will speak well of you, but they were sent to drain, not to build. Guard your gold. Because the enemy knows if he can't stop the blessing, he'll try to corrupt it. He'll send flattery wrapped as friendship. Distractions disguised as deals. He'll try to get you to open your mouth too soon to share what isn't ready to be seen. Not to honor God, but to invite noise that was never meant to surround your seed. But you're wiser now. You've learned that silence is not weakness, it's warfare. The mature don't announce the seed. They water it. They shield it from weather, from eyes, from comparisons. Because they understand this truth, whatever grows too fast, without roots, will not survive the first storm. You are not growing for hype. You are growing for harvest. And harvest requires patience, privacy, protection. That's why God is quieting your spirit, even as He increases your influence. He's asking you to build under divine encryption. Let your fruit speak. Let your results testify. Let your peace be louder than your platform. Because what's holy must be guarded, not just celebrated. There's a reason Jesus withdrew after the miracles. Not because He lacked confidence, but because applause can drown out assignment. And if you're not careful, the noise of recognition will distract you from the voice of instruction. So take inventory. Who's asking to get close now that favor is flowing? What conversations feel draining instead of aligned? Where is God gently pulling you back from exposure and nudging you into deeper consecration? Follow that pull. That's your protection. You're not being antisocial. You're being strategic. There are some things God is placing in you that require sacred space to develop. Don't hand over your blueprint for free. Don't water down what heaven has given you because someone else doesn't understand the weight of it. There's a reason the Ark of the Covenant couldn't be touched casually. It carried glory. It carried instruction. It carried holy weight. So do you. And anything with holy weight must be carried with holy care. It's okay to say no. It's okay to pause. It's okay to disappear for a season if it means staying aligned, because a short-lived platform built on public pressure will collapse. But a quiet foundation built in obedience becomes unshakable. You are not being hidden. You are being preserved. You are not missing out. You are being matured. This is how God prepares stewards, not with stages, but with stillness. He lets the crowd walk ahead while you stay behind, listening, sharpening, surrendering. And when it's time to step forward, you won't need to introduce yourself. Your fruit will do the talking. Your results will do the revealing. Your peace will confirm the source. Because chosen ones don't chase attention. They carry anointing, and anointing doesn't scream. It settles. It rests on those who've learned to protect what others would have promoted too soon. So breathe. You don't owe anyone an update. You don't owe everyone access. Your calling is not for constant display. It's for destiny. Let this season be about boundaries. Protect your time. Guard your peace. Block distractions before they blur your vision. Because not all warfare is obvious. Sometimes it's subtle. Sometimes it comes in the form of applause. Sometimes it looks like a golden opportunity, but if you say yes without asking God, you'll find yourself detoured from your assignment. Be careful with every yes, because every yes is an agreement, and agreements create alignment, and alignment determines the harvest. So choose wisely, move carefully, speak prayerfully, and remember, your silence is not hiding. It's honor. It's your response to a holy moment. God is shaping something through you that cannot be exposed before it's ready. Not because He's withholding, but because He's wise. The next level of your assignment requires more than excitement. It requires discretion, the kind of discretion that only the disciplined understand. And discipline is what protects divine movement. Let others race. Let others post. Let others perform. You build. You listen. You guard the gold. Because what you carry isn't just a blessing, it's an answer. It's a breakthrough for others. It's provision for people you haven't even met yet. That's why it must be protected now. And once you've learned how to guard it, once your spirit is sharpened and your roots are deep, then and only then will God release the next instruction. Not to make you louder, but to make you useful. And the moment you're ready, the moment you've proven you can protect it, He will show you how to use it. You've guarded it well. You've protected the sacred with silence. You've chosen prayer over performance boundaries, over busyness. You didn't let early access ruin eternal alignment. And now, the purpose begins to unfold. Because what God gives you, He doesn't give for show, He gives for service. What's in your hands now isn't just provision. It's kingdom currency. It carries instructions. It's not just about what you have. It's about what it's meant to do. The world tells you to consume it. But heaven calls you to assign it. Because every resource you receive is not just a reward, it's a responsibility. A tool for transformation. A weapon for restoration. A seed to be planted, not a trophy to be polished. You didn't endure all that waiting just to stack savings. You weren't refined in the fire just to flex. This is bigger. This is impact. And impact doesn't always make headlines. It makes waves. Quiet, deep generational waves that shift families, build legacies, fund futures, and echo eternity. You've been called to give differently. Not out of pressure, not for praise, but from posture. God, what you gave me is yours. Tell me where to send it. Because when you give with intention, your finances stop being personal and start becoming prophetic. That dollar becomes a lifeline. That gift becomes a doorway. That act of generosity becomes the answer to someone else's silent prayer. Don't ever underestimate what God can do through your obedience. Don't ever assume your giving needs to be grand to be holy. God doesn't bless size, He blesses submission. It could be a meal for a stranger, a scholarship for a child, a rent payment that saves a family from eviction, a donation that builds a church in a country you'll never step foot in. That's what happens when wealth is placed in the hands of the wise. It doesn't sit. It sends. It moves like a river, not a reservoir. And you chosen one are the riverbed. God is not just blessing you. He's flowing through you. So ask Him. Ask with boldness, where do you want this to go? Then listen. Because the instruction won't always make sense to logic, but it will make sense to your spirit. You'll feel the nudge, the holy pull, that person who comes to mind, that organization you can't stop thinking about, that quiet voice that says, pay it for them. Don't brush it off. That's divine guidance. And every time you say yes to it, the flow continues. This is the economy of heaven. The more you release, the more room God has to replenish. Not just financially, but spiritually, emotionally, supernaturally. Because giving isn't subtraction. It's multiplication wrapped in obedience. And the ones who understand this don't just tithe money, they tithe their thoughts. They ask before they act. They seek alignment before they swipe the card. They invite God into every transaction, not just for protection, but for direction. And the more they follow, the more impact they make, not by chance, but by assignment. That's who you are now. You're not here to spend money. You're here to send it on mission. Every dollar a soldier, every act of giving a spiritual strategy. You're not just wealthy, you're weaponized. And with that comes clarity. You don't give to impress. You give to intervene. You don't build for clout. You build for eternity. Let your name be forgotten if your impact is remembered. Let your account stay unseen if your giving shifts lives. That's the kind of prosperity that never fades. That's divine legacy. The world counts your worth by what you keep, but heaven measures it by what you release. And when you live like that, when your wallet becomes a well for others, heaven takes notice. The kind of notice that keeps the flow going. Because God will keep trusting the one who doesn't hoard. He'll keep supplying the one who doesn't flinch at the instruction. He'll keep sending to the one who moves without needing a round of applause. You are becoming that one. Quietly, powerfully, unshakably. And the more you move like this, the more you realize this isn't about income anymore. It's about impact. It's not about what you can buy. It's about what you can build. The school, the shelter, the startup. the support system, the scholarship fund, the family restoration, the ministry launch. Whatever it is, it's not just your dream. It's heaven's blueprint written on your heart, funded through your obedience. So don't hold back. Not out of recklessness, but out of revelation. Because you've already learned how to carry it. You've already learned how to protect it. Now it's time to put it to work. You are not just a success story. You are a steward of divine supply. And your impact won't be measured by popularity. It'll be measured by how many lives were touched by what flowed through your hands. So keep building, keep giving, keep listening. And soon what started as a quiet whisper will become a legacy loud enough for generations to walk in. And when they ask how it all began, you won't need to shout it. Your fruit will answer for you. Your life will speak. Your impact will preach what your mouth never had to say. And it all began when you realized this isn't mine to flaunt. It's God's to fund. And I've been chosen to carry it. Now the flow has started, the impact is moving, and the mission is alive. But as it grows, so must your posture. Because the higher you rise, the more heaven will ask you to stay rooted. The assignment is active, but the alignment still matters. And in what comes next, your posture will protect your purpose. The mission is moving. The flow is steady. Impact has begun. You're building what once only lived in your prayers. But now, in this next stretch, heaven whispers a deeper reminder: stay low. Not because you are small, but because your foundation must always be deeper than your rise. You've been faithful with what's in your hands. You've guarded it. You've given it. You've moved with precision and obedience. But now, as visibility increases and opportunities multiply, you'll face a new test posture. Because the true weight of abundance isn't in receiving it. It's in staying grounded while carrying it. Success makes noise, but purpose moves in silence. And this is where many fall, not from failure, but from forgetting. Not from loss, but from losing their center. You can't afford to drift now. You've come too far. You've been through too much. Your obedience has built something holy, and your posture will determine if it can withstand the pressure that's coming. Don't let applause become your anchor. Don't let open doors become open distractions. Don't let the praise of people replace the voice of God. Your posture, how you walk, how you serve, how you pray in the middle of success will either protect the flow or invite erosion. That's why this moment calls for humility with precision. A bowed head in a lifted season. A soft spirit in a loud room. Not fake modesty, but real anchored reverence. You don't need to pretend you're not blessed. You just need to remember who blessed you. Because if the platform rises, but the prayer life doesn't, the blessing turns into a burden. This is where the chosen walk differently. They don't shrink, but they don't shout. They carry influence without being intoxicated by it. They lead, but they listen. They grow, but they guard. They give, but they don't need recognition. They move like they remember what it cost to get here. That's your assignment now, to remember. Remember the nights of lack that taught you faith. Remember the silence that sharpened your hearing. Remember the people who held you up when no one saw your value. And remember the altar you built not for a spotlight, but for survival. That memory becomes your defense. Because pride doesn't come with a siren. It comes with a whisper: you did this. But you didn't. God did. And when your posture stays rooted in that truth, the platform can rise as high as it wants, and your soul will stay safe. So let others perform. Let others chase likes and followers. Let others confuse blessing with branding. You stay in position. You let your mornings start in stillness. You let your giving remain quiet. You let your thoughts be filtered through the Spirit, not the scroll. you stay disciplined. Because discipline is what protects destiny. The world says your success is in your portfolio, but heaven knows your success is in your posture. When people ask, "How did you build this?" you won't need to prove anything. Your consistency will answer, your peace will answer, your obedience will answer. Because those are things money can't buy, and those are the things that heaven counts. You didn't just create wealth, you created space for God to move through it. You didn't just build something, you became something. A steward, a distributor, a protector of holy assignments. That's the posture of someone who understands they've been trusted. Someone who remembers that wealth without worship is just noise. But wealth with worship, that's legacy. So every time the pressure rises, return to your altar. Return to silence. Return to scripture. Return to gratitude. Because the more grounded you stay, the more God can trust you with. And this isn't just about you anymore. This is about what comes after you. Your posture today is shaping the path for your children, your community, your lineage. You're not just managing money, you're managing mantles. And mantles require more than skill. They require surrender. So bow in the quiet, worship in the overflow. Stay teachable when the spotlight finds you. Keep your identity locked in the one who sent you. Let your hands stay open. Let your heart stay soft. Let your discipline stay sharp. Because wealth may open doors, but only obedience will keep you in rooms that money can't access. The world is watching your rise, but heaven is watching your rhythm. Will you still pray like you did when you were broke? Will you still fast like you did when you were desperate? Will you still sow like you did when you had almost nothing to give? That's the posture that keeps the blessing alive. Not for a season, but for a legacy. So move forward not with pride, but with purpose. Let your life become a sermon. Let your decisions become doctrine. Let your footsteps teach others what it means to prosper without compromise. And let your wealth never speak louder than your worship. Because in the end, your platform will fade, but your posture will echo in eternity. You've been chosen, you've been trusted, and now, with your heart anchored and your hands ready, heaven says build. Not for applause, not for attention, but for the glory of the one who called you. You don't have to prove it, just live it, and your life will say everything your words never could.